It's 2017, December to be exact. Chris wakes up from his bed. As he's waking up from his bed, he realizes that his drop is in 3 days. For the first time in the first 3 years, he finally doesn't have an anxiety attack on releasing his clothes. Why is that? Because he planned everything out very strategically. How did he plan it out? He did everything that he was supposed to do on the marketing, sales, production, and design side to strategically make this drop worthwhile. 3 days pass. Now it's Judgment Day, the day that he's been waiting for, the biggest drop of his life. He gets to the office early and starts overlooking everything to make sure everything is intact and in place. He logs into his Shopify to make sure that all of the numbers are there for the quantities. Not only that, he makes sure that every single item is scheduled to be dropped at the exact time, which is 3 p.m. It's 1 p.m. and Chris is sweating like a dog. He's super nervous. This is the biggest drop that he's done. If this doesn't go good, then it's all bad. He goes and gets some food and 3 o'clock hits. He was so caught up with his friends having a good time that he realized he was 5 minutes late to get to the office. He breaks free from his friends. He runs down the street as fast as possible. Anybody that was in his way, he didn't see him. Move, get out the way. He runs upstairs in his building. He gets into his office to go see what the numbers are looking like, and his face is in disbelief. You wouldn't believe it. He made $15,000 in sales in the first 3 minutes. Chris could have died right then and there and went to heaven because he was so happy. He's jumping up and down. He's excited as fuck. He calls his girlfriend at the time and tells her, "Babe, you wouldn't believe it. I just made $15,000 in sales." She said, "How the fuck did you do that?" And the answer that he had was, "I planned out my collection strategically." And that's exactly what I'm talking about in this video. I know that a lot of you guys come into this and y'all think that, oh, I can just throw a mock-up up on the screen and think people are supposed to buy it. Or some of you guys are catching an anxiety attack and you guys are sitting there like, what the fuck? Like, why isn't my drops going as well? Why am I having an anxiety attack every single month? And that's why your Lord and Savior, yes, me, I am here to save every single one of you guys and help you guys and give y'all some understanding on how to strategically build out your clothing collections. So the first thing is that you always have to remember. So the first thing that you must remember, that less is always more. A lot of you guys on my Discord and a lot of you guys that watch me a lot, I see your guys' clothing collection. And when I see the collections, you guys are building out 40-piece collections and 20-piece collections, even 10-piece collections. And you guys should be really not dropping that many clothes if y'all don't have an authority within your brand, within the market, within the niche that you're in. If you do not have demand, that's when we need to give infinite supply. And once you get demand, that's when you chop supply. So you probably wondering, what the fuck do I even mean by that? So basically, if you're not an authority figure with your brand, and if nobody knows you, and if nobody cares about your stuff, which is more than likely a lot of people, then why would you be giving them more out? That doesn't make no sense, right? So what I mean by giving out infinite supply is that we need to get more and more eyeballs into our brand. So then once our brand starts selling out and the 10,000 orders and all the money is just rain falling, that's when we chop the supply. And then we can start building out this stronger and stronger and stronger demand and this FOMO and this scarcity for our clothing brand. But the first thing is that less is always more. So rather than putting out 40, 50, 60 fucking items, even 10 items, if nobody knows who you are, why don't you just put out 1 or 2 items? Why don't you just put out 2 t-shirts, 1 t-shirt, and just build demand off of that? My first t-shirt ever, I literally told myself, I don't give a fuck about nothing else. I have to sell 100 of these before I even move on to another design. And that design didn't even do good. My first drop, shit, I only made like $2,000 in 4 months. Like the first day I didn't make nothing, no sales, nothing. But see, I didn't overdo it for myself. I didn't be like, oh, well, let's put out a white t-shirt version and a black and a gray and a pink and a red and a blue. It's like that shit will fucking kill you. You know what I mean? So you always want the customer to buy what you have right then and there. And if they bought into your brand, more than likely they're gonna buy it. And even if they don't buy it, that's fine, because everything that you drop isn't for that one specific person, even if they did buy into your brand, if that makes sense. So always remember that rather than making 100 t-shirts, and we only scale as high as building a trailer park, why don't we just double down and build an Eiffel Tower with 1 or 2 items? And then we start building our brand totally off of that. And not only that, you also want the customer to be focused. We live in an ADHD world. Everybody's lizard brain is turned right the fuck on. So everybody's like looking around, looking for this, looking for that, looking for this. And then they're getting so many feedbacks every single day with advertisements and marketing. You got to remember too, if you guys are running ads out there, the average person is seeing 200 ads a day. Every single one of you guys, every single one of y'all are seeing 200 ads a day. 200. So for somebody to stop, click, go to your website, and then scroll, you don't want to add too much confusion there. You only want to add a few items. This is what I got. And even if they don't fuck with what you got, but if they fuck with your brand and want to see more of you, they either gonna follow you or give up email. And now you collect the data either way, right? Because if they bought something, you collecting their emails and all that other stuff. And then even if they're not, it's like they still subbed or followed. And then if they just not fucking with it, they're not fucking with it. But they must have fucked with it if they clicked on it, right? So always remember that less is always more. The second thing is scheduling. To strategically do a brand right, you must schedule anywhere between 60 to 90 days ahead. And a lot of bigger brands out there, they're years ahead. They're a year ahead. You think Stüssy is building out a collection right now for April? Do you think that? Fuck no. Like they are literally like 8 months ahead. But obviously for everybody that's just starting out, not everybody has millions upon millions of dollars to run a brand like Stüssy. But even when you're first starting out, even if you can get 60 to 90 days ahead, and what I mean by that, by getting ahead and scheduling, is you have a collection and then you know exactly what you're dropping in the month of March, the month of April, the month of May. So now when you go to your manufacturers, or if you're going to your screen printer, now you can go get the samples and everything like that. So then we can finalize everything. So then when Judgment Day gets there for you, rather than having all this anxiety, you already know the turnaround times for everybody, especially if you're doing a pre-order, which I recommend. You don't want to be that person that's always stressed the fuck out every single month. And back, even when I was running my brand, you know, back in 2016, 2017, 2014 and 15, I was always month by month. I'm like, what should I drop this month? I got some dope designs in the archive. What should I drop this month? But it's like I'm trying to play catch up. But the only way to get ahead is by being strategically planned ahead. So that's exactly what I want for every single one of you guys. And you guys can even go off of this framework. Like, fuck it. 2 t-shirts, 2 hats, 2 accessories, just to start off, and then be like, I got the next 9 months ahead. And you don't leave off of that until you're making at least $5,000 to $20,000 per collection. So 2 hats, 2 t-shirts, 2 accessories. That's it. And try to make $10,000 off of those things. Try to make $50,000 shit if you could off of those little 6 items. And then you can call those like your little capsules or collections. But that's what I would do, and that's exactly what I did. And y'all can go look at my brand and see the receipts. If y'all scroll all the way to the bottom and click on the Wicked Thoughts collection, there's only 9 items there. And then if you scroll all the way up to the top where I have Jay Cheddar with the dove bird, that was only like a 15-piece collection. And on top of that, that's when I already had demand for my brand. And I'm still giving people less, because once you start broadening it out, you start drawing that confusion and it starts pissing off the customer. And then on top of that, the scheduling that comes with all that stuff, because we got cut and sew now, we got accessories, we got printables, and everybody's schedule is different. And it all has to align on the day that you're dropping. So then everything is running smoothly. So then people are getting their shit in a timely fashion. And on top of that too, this is one little added extra in there. Always make sure that the quality is there. A lot of you guys go get the samples and then they're pieces of shit, or y'all never even check to go get samples, and then y'all go wing it, and then y'all go over there to Pakistan or something, and then when y'all come back, and then when the shit gets shipped over to you, and then, or if you never even got the sample and y'all just hoping and wishing that this manufacturer's great, and then when y'all get the shit, everything is trash and the sizes don't fit, everything like that. That's exactly why y'all need to be 60 to 90 days ahead. So then when you do those drops, everything is in order. The sizing is right. The quality is right. The turnaround time is right. Everything is right. Everything is in order. That's exactly what every single one of y'all need to do. And now let's get on the third thing. When you do a drop, make sure that everything is cohesive. Don't go make a t-shirt with a gun on it or a Jesus that say Lord knows, and then over here you got a fucking t-shirt with a clown on it. That doesn't make no sense, right? That's no identity to what my brand is about. You get what I'm saying? So make sure that everything is cohesive into one. And like I told you guys, when it comes to the brand identity, always remember that when you build out your brand identity, like I said, have your name, What does your brand name represent? And then build everything off of that. So for example, like me, for the 100th time, we got Lord Knows. Lord Knows represents God for me and my brand. But what does God represent? Heaven, hell, sinner, saints, black Jesus, white Jesus, all these different things, right? So I'm making my collections, I'm making my build outs all identified as a whole of what Lord Knows represents. So always make sure that when you do these drops, or you're doing a drop with a theme, like I did with Satan's Child or Wicked Thoughts or anything like that, you always want to make sure that everything is cohesive and everything makes fucking sense, because I done seen a lot of people's brands that don't make sense at all. And some of you guys know who I'm talking about. Some of you guys even will go do a drop and y'all just ran it up crazy, and then it was a themed collection about angels and the shit went crazy for y'all. And then on the next drop, y'all doing some teddy bear, Curious George fuckery, and it's like, and then you get mad when nobody bought that, but your brand identity is not connected to some Curious George teddy bear, Teddy Graham fucking t-shirt. You know what I'm saying? So you always want to make sure that everything is cohesive and everything makes sense. Next up, we have price point, and this one is very, very, very crucial. Like when I was first starting out, I'm trying to be loved by everybody, right? Friends, family, even people on the internet in my early days. So I'm over there selling t-shirts, fucking $26, fucking $8 t-shirts, fucking cut and sew jackets like this. I'm selling them shits for fucking $80, $60, and I was taking home no profit. Yes, Lord Knows was taking home basically damn near crumbs. You know what I'm saying? That's why we probably in the back of my apartment in the trenches still. You know what I mean? But basically your definite chief aim when it comes to gross profit margin is 80%. And the reason why I say 80% is because let's just say you're getting the t-shirt for $5.50. You need to be selling that t-shirt for minimum $35. And the reason why I say that is because once you get that 80% gross margin, right? Now you got operations. Now we got shipping supplies. Now we got apps. Now we got recurring bills that's coming in, all this stuff. Now we have employees. There's so much shit coming in that now that 80% is going to drop down to probably anywhere between a 35 to 50%. But now do the math. It's like if you sold 10,000 t-shirts for $35 and now you walking away anywhere between a cool little 35 to 50% margin off of that, you chilling. So this is how I look at it. Rather than selling more and taking home nothing, why don't we just sell less and then take home more? But a lot of people are scared to put a price point on things simply because they're scared to lose those sales, right? But at the same time, it's like if you already got people that bought into your brand, bought into your community, everybody's fucking with you, etc., then yeah, maybe them sales might drop dramatically or maybe a little bit less, but at the same time you're still making more money to take home. And this is how you don't have to look outside for outside capital. This is how you don't got to look outside of anybody for outside capital, because even though if you're still bootstrapped, even if you just hit for $10,000 in 1 month with your brand, if the margins are so high that you're walking away with a 35 to 50% margin, now you walking away with 35 to 5K. And now we hold on to that money, use the credit card, go get our production, go use that credit card for more marketing, and then we rinse and repeat. Now that 5,000 is stacking to 10,000 the next month, and then the next month now it's at 15. Just in 90 days, now you got 15,000 profit in cash that you're holding on to just off of a 30K gross revenue. You get what I'm saying? I hope this is making sense. And the last and most important one is to strategically plan out your clothing brand drop is go find an authority figure that's gonna make your life a whole lot easier. And what I mean by authority figure, look at the lane that you in and go find some of the biggest people in your lane. So for example, when I was first starting out, I had Suicide Boys, I had Ski Mask the Slump God, I had Ramirez, I had Jay Cheddar, I had Ross Dillams, I had so many different people in my shit. But when I would do a drop, I would have the photo of that person in my stuff, and I built such a cool relationship with them over the years of us being on the couch and everybody broke trying to figure it out in the early days, that I had such a cool relationship with them that they would tag me on the days that I would drop the stuff. So back in the day, this is like early days, like 2016. You guys can actually check this out on my Instagram account if you guys scroll all the way to the bottom. But I flew Ramirez out here from G59. I flew Ramirez out. I'm like, yo, first I called him, I was like, yo, I need a lookbook done in like 2 days. I had no model for this collection, but I promised the world this collection was coming out on this certain day. So I called him. I'm like, bro, I'll pay for your ticket, fly out real quick. He was like, say less. Came out here, 24 hour flight. We drove 2 hours from Portland, Oregon, all the way down to Eugene, Oregon, where the University of Oregon is at. Because at the time, one of my photographers was going to school down there. He knocks out all the photos, and then we got into a church, and the rest is history. He's in the Satan's House t-shirt, all this other stuff. So then he goes back to the crib. I'm like, hey, bro, I'm gonna send you over the photos. Can you do a post on this day? So now I'm bringing in all of his followers. Not only that, it's that likable and it's that trust bias, right? Because people are like, well, if Ramirez is wearing it, then, and if he's my favorite rapper, then I need to go buy into this shit too, because that, if Ramirez is my man's, and if my man's is fucking with this, then I'm fucking with it. So that's how it is when authority figures like wear other people's brands. Now, obviously Ramirez at the time was fucking with my brand. He believed in my brand, or he wouldn't have done it. So for the young dudes out there that are just starting out, like obviously build up that momentum. But if you can't reach a person like that, or Suicide Boys or whoever, even look in your city, like who's the person that reflects my brand the most? Let's just say if I had a skate brand, if I had a skate brand right now just starting, I'm not looking to go get one of the biggest skaters in the world. It's levels to this shit. The first thing that I'm doing is who got the most motion in my city where I'm from that's a skater. That's who I need to get in my shit. If he's not signed to Nike or something like that, yo, I need you to do this lookbook for me, X, Y, and Z. So then once you got that authority figure, not only you gaining his following, now it's bringing in that trust even to your following, because people are gonna be like, damn, like if this famous skater or that's known, or if he's about to crack and take off, if he's wearing so-and-so's brand, then I'm definitely buying into it. And then that's going to make things a whole lot easier for you guys when it comes to sales as well. So I hope you guys like this video. Always remember, divorce from the result and embrace the craft. Mwah.